All right. Welcome to the Relapse of Reason podcast, episode number, 3?
Yeah.
This is episode 3. Got a brand new studio, got a brand new thing. I'm going to get copyright striked. Thank you very much for coming, Hugo. I appreciate it. This is a long time coming.
We already did an episode before.
We already didn't know. What I mean is long time coming for just a nice studio and just a nice area for us to just talk. You know what I mean? Because last time we were talking about it, it was kind of annoying.
Oh,
it was no, because we were saying it wasn't as comfortable. It was kind of annoying to just like sit there and just kind of like just existed. But now we have a nice table. Our stuff is all set up here. It's perfect. Got the baby on camera work. Thank you very much. Okay, so so
we got the baby on the camera.
you got the baby on camera work.
When you post this, you have to at least upload like right when you say you got the baby on camera. We should just,
try to get the microphone around like.
You just like show the picture right here.
I should do that, yeah. Okay, so we were talking a little bit before we were talking. Happy Halloween. We have a pumpkin. Thank you to DaBaby. I have a deal with DaBaby and his record label. He got me a pumpkin. I'm just kidding.
Didn't he kill
Okay, huh?
Didn't he kill a guy?
DaBaby?
Yeah, wasn't there like a thing? I don't know.
I don't
know
think
if that's
so.
true. I don't know. That's actually from the new Dave Chappelle thing. He's just like, yeah, he got canceled because he said something bad about a gay person. But, he killed a few guys, but that doesn't matter,
What? Let me see.
Or he committed a crime somewhere.
Oh, right here. 50 Cent agrees with Dave Chappelle about DaBaby's homophobic comments. Fellow comedian Michael Blackson accuses Dave Chappelle of snitching on DaBaby. That's pretty dope. Dave Chappelle says U.S. more offended by DaBaby's homophobic comments than killing a man. That's where you got it from.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be a complete joke. It
That's
could be like
really
a joke,
weird.
But if that is true, it's kind of funny. I don't know.
Oh.
Dave Chappelle he's a goat, man.
This is from MSNBC. This is when you know journalism is at its best. DaBaby's comments weren't just homophobic. They were dangerous. That's what it says right here. His anti-gay rant at Rolling Loud has gotten him canceled in every sense of the term.
That's why he's still popular and people still listen to him. So he is not canceled technically.
You're like talking not into the microphone.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Ow.
Here, is that better?
That's oh god, I gotta turn your ass down.
I can't even angle it. Is there no way you can angle it towards me?
You know you can just fuck with it, right?
Wait, hold on. I don't want to pull.
Okay, so this part right here has to be in front of your face. That part right there. There you go. Welcome back to teaching Hugo how to use a microphone. All right. Oh God, here's his statements. If you didn't show up today with HIV, oh wait, hold on. The rapper who's become a household name thanks to songs like Suge and features on his pop. Is that how you say it? Suge. How do you say his song name? DaBaby?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
Why are you asking?
And features on, he decided to launch into a wildly unnecessary diatribe that colors exactly why I'm still nervous about going to certain concerts. If you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases, that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put your cell phone lighter up. What the fuck? DaBaby, real name Jonathan Lindale.
Wait, that was what he said?
Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. What the fuck? That's what he said at a concert. If you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, put your cell phone lighter up. Why?
You laugh at the dumbest shit.
Well, no, it's dumb. It's so stupid. Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up.
Wondering, you only see like
Stupid.
one guy put his lighter up. Like,
I want to see the guys that don't put their lighter up. See what they're doing. Like, what the hell?
what the hell happened to this mic?
Oh,
Jesus, man, what did you do to this thing?
oh, what the fuck? Instead of taking a breath and realizing how wrong he was for those comments, Kirk decided to defend himself the next day by publishing a video on Instagram stating, "My gay fans, they take care of themselves. They ain't going for that. They ain't no nasty gay N-word." You know what I'm saying? That's really stupid.
Well, whatever. I don't know. People choose the wrong things to get pissed off about. I mean, yeah, he said some stupid shit, but believe me.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
dumb. That's
Like,
so
did you hear that? Did you hear like there was another bombing in like another country that like America was involved? Yeah. But did you hear that this one rapper that nobody really gives a shit about said a bad thing? It's
about
like
gay people.
yeah.
What? As if they're not killing gays over in Afghanistan right now? Okay. Let's see. What was that thing that you were talking to me about before the show?
I was talking to you about like 500 things before the show. What are you talking
No,
about?
I know.
Name
What
it
was that?
specifically.
What was that one
Jesus,
thing
this
about
mic is
your
such
catalytic
trash.
converter?
This mic is such trash. Hold on.
It's not a trash mic. It's a
Yeah.
good mic.
Okay, so basically, basically, I went to the mall with my girlfriend. We were going to, holy crap, Barnes and Noble. We were going, basically, we were going to Barnes and Noble. We parked outside, and I noticed there was like a car parked on the same parking lot, and he wasn't parked correctly. He was like parked way over the line or something like that. His car was still on, and he was still sitting in there. So I thought maybe he's waiting for something.
Oh,
or
is
waiting
that the
for someone.
sketchy guy?
I think it was probably that guy. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at his face, but he was just sitting there doing nothing. We go inside about like I'd say probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes later. We come back out. The car's gone, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really think anything of
That's
it.
your guy.
I get in the car, I turn it on, and it just starts making a very loud noise. And I start getting worried, thinking, okay, so did something wrong with the car? Because I literally just drove it here. Nothing was wrong with it before.
Right.
Call my dad, and basically he thought it's probably that cat. He didn't say it
Yeah.
over the phone, but he knew. And I
Right.
remember, I think the best part was after that happened. Basically, we couldn't drive the car anymore. We had to sell it, sadly, and that was like a car we had for a while.
What kind of car was it?
In 2001 Honda Accord.
Oh yeah,
Coupe,
you're
I think.
ready to sell that motherfucker.
Is it? No, it actually,
You're ready to sell
it
that
actually
thing.
worked pretty well for how long we had
You're
it.
ready to sell it.
But basically, no, yeah, we sold it, and we're still getting trying to figure out what new car to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best part was after that whole experience, I didn't know what a catalytic converter was at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then I basically, I looked it up, and my dad explained to me what it was. I'm like, okay, now I understand.
They're valuable, yeah. They're
Yeah, very
valuable.
valuable.
A lot of people steal them.
And you know what the funniest part was? After I learned about what a catalytic converter was, all I could see on Instagram were catalytic converter memes. I'm not kidding. Memes involving people stealing catalytic converters. I know that sounds weird. Like, one of them was literally just like, it's like, you have the face of a man who likes to steal catalytic converters, and it just was like some big muscular, like mustachioed guy. It's like, what the
That's
fuck?
weird.
Or another one where it's just like some dad getting mad at his daughter because of her new boyfriend, and he's just like, who even is this guy? What does he do for a living? She's like, oh, Dad, he steals catalytic converters. God. And I'm like,
That's
I'm
pretty
like,
funny.
This is dumb.
This is
Speaking of memes, you've been seeing that stupid meme with like, it ain't always about the money, Spider-Man.
yes.
It's about the Mets. It's about the Mets. Let's go the Mets. Let's do it.
I was wanting you to come on the podcast, and I was wanting to see what you thought. I know Alex is here too.
Can you hear me from here, or is that like a little too far?
It's a little too far.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's a little better. You can just adjust it any way you
Okay.
want. So this is it. Okay, cool. So I'm writing a paper right now.
What, for school?
No, just I'm not in school right now, but
Lucky.
yeah, somewhat. But I'm writing a paper right now about all kinds of different things about
Jesus.
no, not about Jesus.
Politics.
It doesn't. Yeah, somewhat.
Of course.
Well, I'm
And Jesus
irritated.
isn't a part of politics?
Well, it can be,
Yeah.
but
I mean, he
Um,
was.
Well, yeah,
He was
that's
killed because of political, religious reasons.
that's one thing people aren't getting. Jesus literally was a freaking like revolutionist. That's what he was. That's why
He became a martyr after he was killed.
yes, that's the whole reason why they killed him is because he literally was staging a revolution up against the freaking government, practically. That's yeah. So, so this is called The Art of Eating Crow.
That's the paper's name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what eating crow means?
Eating birds. Eating poultry.
Like
I would like to eat a crow.
okay, all right. I'll just read the paper.
Yeah,
I'll just read a couple paragraphs of it. I want you to tell me
Oh my God,
what you
couple
think about it.
paragraphs? Jesus
Oh, this is five pages so far.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! All right, let's do this. I'm getting ready.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So, I want to see what you think. I want to see what both of you think. The art of eating crow is an art form that could be learned in ways that either may or may not present itself. Eating crow is defined by Merriam-Webster as to admit that one was wrong or accept that one has been defeated. So, to admit wrongdoing and to acknowledge defeat. Those are strong words in a simple phrase. This is an idea that has taken root in American society starting from the beginning. Americans were, from the start, were acknowledging defeat in the sense that the British were in control of most of American colonies' land, resources, and money. At the end of the 7 Years' War in 1763, the British government was in debt, heavily. To combat this, the British government started to make laws regarding trade and tax cuts for big businesses, but high taxes on average citizens, no representation in the government, and unjust laws created by a king. Because of the unfair government that the UK created, the American colonies and other parts of the UK society were and casted out before the democracy we know and love today in this day and age. All right, so it's basically in that starting paragraph in that introduction, I'm basically talking about how from the start of American society that we've just been eating shit. You know what I mean? We've basically just been eating shit.
True.
And that's the whole reason why America was created, is because we were tired of eating shit.
And then we did it to ourselves.
Yeah, and then and then it goes into
That's history.
Exactly.
That's like to get rid of a corrupt politician, we add in our own.
exactly.
That's kind of the. I don't know. That's a course of history at this point, and I don't know. I've kind of started losing more and more interest in something like voting. I don't know, or stuff like that. I've literally lost more interest in it because I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, the only person that you're voting for is another corrupt politician. Because believe me, you're not going to see many honest people getting up there that much, because they're going to go up there. They're probably going to try, but then they're going to be completely taken down by the more rich, more successful politician who has more lobbyists behind them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the case. It was kind of like what. I don't know. I just really cannot stand when politicians say just like very fake shit. You know what I mean? Like one example was like the recall that happened recently.
About Newsom in California?
Yeah, Newsom, California elder, all that crap.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't even vote. I just like didn't bother.
I voted
didn't
for
really care.
Larry Elder.
I didn't
Unfortunately, I don't.
care.
I wish I didn't, but
Why not?
either way, it doesn't count because it doesn't matter anymore.
You don't really
because-
like him?
No, I did some more research on Larry Elder. My mom was just like, you know what? I think we should vote for Larry Elder. I was like,
Why?
I don't know.
Why? What did he do?
well, Larry Elder is first of all conservative. My parents are pretty conservative.
Yeah, obviously.
I saw some stuff about Larry Elder wanting to change things. There was a couple things about abortion that I didn't really care for about him. I don't
Well,
really
he
know
wanted to
how I
get rid
stand
of
on that. No, yeah, he just wants to kind of just end that shit and just try to
Didn't he also say something about the minimum wage?
something like that.
Yeah.
But-
I didn't care for him that much. I didn't really care for either. I don't like either of them,
Yeah.
really. But the thing that annoys me, though, is I remember seeing, like, Newsom. He was yelling like a fucking little petulant child, saying, like, women are amazing. They're the best in science, in politics. And I'm hearing this, and I'm like, okay, well, by your logic, why the fuck are we voting for you again? Why don't we just get a woman in there to replace you?
Yeah.
You're saying women are best in politics and science.
okay,
I'm
so-
pretty sure you would have a problem if there was a conservative woman running against you for office, wouldn't you?
Yes.
That's the problem that I have with that. It's
You would just claim that that she's
not a real woman. It's
well,
the
not
same way
that she's
they,
not a real woman. Is that she's a real woman, but she's being puppeted by men.
Yeah, the
That's
same.
what
Yeah,
he'd
because
say.
the same thing that they would use against black conservatives.
Exactly.
You know, because white people have the brain capacity and the intelligence to think either Democrat or Republican. But black people are apparently too dumb to think either way. They have to think a specific way, according to what the
Apparently.
good old white dude up in the sky tells them to, right?
Yeah,
i.e.
apparently.
Biden. And that's the thing that annoys me, is that they really... I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but
Yeah.
that does genuinely annoy me when you see black conservatives because black conservatives, or minorities who are conservatives, are a minority amongst minorities. Gay people who are conservatives are a minority amongst the gay community.
Yeah, I agree.
Black people who are conservatives are a minority amongst the black community. That's pretty much that's a basic fact. It's kind of obvious. But the thing that annoys me though is more these minorities who claim to be caring about rights and all that stuff. All they do is feed more into the system, and then they quote so many of these political leaders or political advocates like Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, or even Martin Luther King, saying like we agree with them. It's like, well, obviously they would not like what you're doing now. And that's the problem. The problem is that the white politicians, the white liberal politicians that Malcolm X warned a lot of black people about, they're winning. Technically, they're winning. They're doing exactly what... Literally, my brother sent me... Hold on, I think I have it here, actually. Hold on. He sent it to me on Discord, a quote from Malcolm X himself. Do I have it? No, hold on.
Yeah.
Here, oh my god, man. What is up with my connection here? My data...
You can connect to my Wi-Fi.
I don't know why my data is so bad here. Yeah, what's your Wi-Fi?
You'll see it. I don't necessarily want to say it on the internet.
Are you serious? Is it that bad?
I just do it just for security reasons, sort of. Here,
Okay,
I'll do it for you.
I see AT&T Direct.
Wait, stop talking. These are people in my neighborhood. Let me just do it for you. I'm a cybersecurity major. I know what kind of shit people can do with my Wi-Fi. I don't want people to even know what my Wi-Fi name is.
Yeah, here, let me look for it.
Even though you can't really get that much, even though it's just like a string of characters and it's just an identifier.
And I'm gonna say not the N word, not the N-I-G-G. I'm not saying it's N-E-G.
Yeah.
Like the way
yes.
I'm just saying because you know how people
yeah.
can. Dude, you know how people can get, literally, I've heard people get mad at people just saying, literally, I've seen people online get mad saying white people shouldn't even say the term, quote unquote, the N-word, instead of saying the actual word or something like that. They should just not respond to it at all. I've literally seen some stuff like that.
Wow, that's so stupid.
What do you expect? People are dumb. Anyway, basically, my brother sent me this, and it said, and this is a pretty long quote, so.
Go ahead.
Okay, it says, in this deceitful American game of power politics, the Negroes, i.e. the race problem, the integration and civil rights issues, are nothing but tools used by one group of whites called liberals against another group of whites called conservatives, either to get into power or to remain in power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats or Republicans. The whites are now struggling for control of the American political throne, are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful than the conservative. The liberal is more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship, allegiance, and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or tool in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and white conservatives. Politically, the American Negro is nothing but a football, and nothing but a football, and the white liberals control this mentally dead ball through tricks of tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this profitable game of deceiving and exploiting the political politician of the American Negro, those white liberals have the willing cooperation of the Negro civil rights leaders. These quote-unquote leaders sell out our people for just a few crumbs of token recognition and token gains. These leaders are satisfied with token victories and token progress because they themselves are nothing but token leaders. The white conservatives aren't friends of the Negro either, but they at least don't try to hide it. They're like wolves. They show their teeth in a snarl that keeps the Negro always aware of where he stands with them. But the white liberals are foxes, who also show their teeth in the Negro but pretend that they are smiling. The white liberals are more dangerous than the conservatives. They lure the Negro, and as the Negro runs from the growling wolf, he flees into the open jaws of the smiling fox.
Yeah.
The job of the Negro civil rights leader is to make the Negro forget that the wolf and the the fox both belong to the same family, but both are canines, and no matter which one of them the Negro places his trust in, he never ends up in the White House, but always in the doghouse. The white liberals control the Negro.
Well, he was wrong about that one.
Yeah, but when was the last time? You know, I don't know.
2016.
Yeah, I know, but believe me, we're probably not going to see that for a while.
I think we will. I think we will. I hope to God there's... Oh, is the quote finished?
There's one more.
Oh, my bad.
The white liberals control the Negro, and the Negro vote by controlling the Negro civil rights leaders. As long as they control the Negro civil rights leaders, they can also control and contain the Negro struggle, and they can control the Negro's so-called revolt. The Negro quote-unquote revolution is controlled by these foxy white liberals, by the government itself, but the black revolution is controlled only by God.
Okay.
And this was something that he said. By
the way, this is Malcolm X. This is not
Malcolm
Hugo
X.
speaking. This is not
Hugo's
Malcolm quote.
X. This is Malcolm X, but believe me, he's speaking. I hate using this term. He's spitting facts. I hate using that term so much. I don't know. The reason I would think that is because technically he is kind of right. Most of the conservatives, or at least big politicians, you never really see them try to tokenize these minorities. They usually just like them or don't like them. It kind of just, they're at least a little more honest about it. With
Nowadays.
Democrats, yeah, but with Democrats, but this was said a while ago. This was said before he died. Yeah, you're turning down my mic. I know. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh God, you don't need to do
Basically, I don't know. The reason I agree is because I'm sorry. I don't. Whenever I see people like Biden go up there and say like, "Oh, I care about." I care about the people, and
well, he's had 3 brain surgeries and a couple aneurysms, so I don't agree, or I don't know what he's saying at all.
Kamala Harris.
I don't even know if what.
Or even
I don't
Kamala
know.
Harris. She.
Oh God, no.
The reason I don't like her is because she plays her. I have a boob card and I'm not white card.
Yeah,
way
exactly,
too much.
exactly.
She even goes back and forth on what she identifies as. She's like, oh yeah, I am Indian. When she's doing something for Indian people.
I'm Native American,
I'm
and then I'm black. Yeah.
No, and it's just like, look, you can easily just sum that all up by saying you're mixed race. Done. You're mixed. Done. Easy. Simple. You don't have to. You're only doing that to make yourself look better for a certain group. And the problem that I hate with that is that she's so fucking fake, dude.
Well, here's the thing, dude. She has literally the lowest approval rating out of all the vice presidents, almost. And second of which, she also hasn't even been around. Where has she been?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen her.
I haven't seen. The thing that I don't like, look,
it's because she's just waiting it out. She's just waiting for Biden to die so she could just slip in there.
Personally, I never liked Trump. I really did not like him.
Yeah, he's whatever.
Him. But the thing that I got annoyed with recently was I've been seeing so many. Remember back then, whenever you saw him playing golf, people would complain about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pictures of Biden literally just having an ice cream cone, hanging out and doing
just
whatever.
playing golf.
Kamala Harris is fucking, she's gone. She's left planet Earth. I don't know what the fuck she is.
She's not even around here.
A word. So it's does that tell nobody how politically biased? I'm holding the pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's
news.
Biased.
It's news. That's why we're doing this. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that news. That's why I created Purple Network. That's why I created this podcast, because I'm sick and tired of people not putting real news out there.
Here's the thing. You're more conservative.
If Trump is going to do dumb shit, I'll put it out there. If Biden's going to do dumb shit, I'm putting it out there. If there's
this thing is made of plastic, you're going to break it.
This is wood. I can guarantee you, if there is any politician out there that does dumb shit, and I even agree with you, I'm going to frickin' point you out. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people not being just honest.
Here's the interesting thing. You and I are really, really close friends, right?
Yes, we've been friends for a long time.
You're more conservative than me.
A little bit.
I'd say I'm probably a little more liberal than you in some areas.
Yes,
I probably think
for sure.
More liberal.
Yes.
Yeah, we can still, even if we don't agree, we just agree to disagree. And we're like, yeah, okay, let's move on with it. Let's get on with it. Why are you kissing the mic? Let's get on with it. No, I just cannot stand how, again, politically divided everything in this country is. It's so fucking annoying. It's literally just a power play for these politicians.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of them, really. And even Bernie, I trusted him. But now, judging from the stuff that he's been posting a lot recently on his Instagram, I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude,
he's bought.
I feel like he's been bought out. It's damn it.
I'm sorry. He's the treasurer now. He's in control of all the money in the White House, bro.
I don't know.
He's been bought out.
I'm just the reason I'm
And what
sad
he's
about
doing
it
right
is
now is he's playing a sleeper card. He's just sitting there and he's just playing a sleeper card until there's a Democrat
I must
that
ask you once
runs
again.
that gets him to be the vice president or
I need
president.
your help. I need your help. Just give me one penny.
Yeah, just give me one penny.
There is something fundamentally wrong.
There's something
with this
fundamentally wrong with this country.
I don't like making fun of him, but he
He's
has
a great.
he has a very distinct.
He's
a
interesting.
good speaker, though.
Yeah, I would have to
literally-
say so. For his age,
He
especially.
can actually, put a fucking word out there.
I know.
Like Biden.
All right,
But,
so back to this real quick, or do you
What?
want to carry on?
I don't know. What do you want to do? 'Cause
It's
I
just-
feel like
I'll-
I feel like I interrupted you.
Oh no, it's okay. I want your. That's what I kind of want to do with this paper. I want to, like, when somebody reads this paper, I want them to think about all these things. So I'm glad that you're having this reaction and not just, yeah, okay. You know, it makes you think about it.
Do that more.
All right. So, defeat. That is the feeling you have when you eat crow. The feeling you get when you realize the wool is being pulled over your eyes, when you don't know any other way out. Understanding the implications of eating crow is a feat within itself that does not meet most of the minds of American leaders, shareholders, CEOs, or celebrities, especially not the average American citizen. This is for the average American citizens, the people whose eyes get the wool pulled over the most. According to a study from Pew Research in 2020, 86% of Americans use their smartphone to check news, and 53% of them get news from social media apps. On that note, there was another study done from MIT in 2018, but there will definitely be no anomaly here. What will be presented will be information that is thought by many government agencies around the world, major tech corporations, skeptics, cybersecurity professionals, and even the average social media users would know. MIT researchers discovered that falsehoods were around 70% more likely to be retweeted on Twitter and reached the first 1,500 people 6 times faster.
Oh yeah.
This is more prevalent in political news too. A little thing they mentioned throughout the paper was the use of bot networks. Bot networks are a series of computers throughout businesses and society that have been hacked and are all linked to one or many networks of the hacker's choosing. The hackers are in turn able to make the bots individually make accounts and spread misinformation. False information comes in many different ways, as presented in 1984 by a former KGB agent, Yuri Bezmenov, from Russia. He mentions the KGB in Russia using wide varieties of propaganda to incite the demoralization, re-education, political, social, and even moral unrest in America. A slow but steady process, and even worse, nobody knows what is real anymore, but the other person is wrong. Neighbor against neighbor. That is a phrase unfortunately used a lot in today's society and political climate. This is the last thing we would want. The last thing we would want is to have an entire nation eroding from the inside out, right? Well, Bezmenov digresses, and so do many well-informed agencies, governments, cyber agents, and skeptics, as stated above, that pull the wool over the eyes of those below.
Dang. And you wrote that?
Yes, sir. What do you think about? What do you think?
I mean, it's fucking true, isn't it?
I would think so. I would think
I don't
so.
know, when
I
you
mean,
look at history, it's been like that. Even before
Right.
social media. Basically,
I
right
even get
when-
into that too. Yeah.
Right when media,
Mhm.
in general, was created. Right when the printing press was created, this stuff was very easy to do, and it's been like that for. It's been like that for hundreds of years, basically. It's been like that for so long, and the fact that people don't really. And again, most of the people who usually like, those fucking idiots on Twitter who like to lecture people, those
Yes.
fucking losers.
Yes.
Like they're the same people who would like lecture people on history lessons and we gotta do this and we gotta meh. But then they'll never look back in history to realize that they're probably being taken advantage of. They'll never look back in
Oh God.
they'll never look back in history to realize that they're being taken advantage of today, with just new
Yeah.
forms of ancient tactics. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
basically, it's what they call it in Silicon Valley is the race to the bottom of the brainstem. The reason why is the bottom of your brainstem is basically where all of your lizard brain tendencies are,
Yeah.
where all of your addictive and like kind of like instinctual and twitchy things you have that just are like embedded into you. So they take advantage and manipulate you. And by the way, I didn't put this in the paper, and I probably will right now, here pretty soon. I want to mention that in 2019, there was a study done I think from the Mueller indictment, that Facebook took down 4 billion fake accounts in 2019. Half of the planet was taken off of fucking Facebook
Because they were fake accounts?
because they were fake. It was like half of the fucking planet. By the way, the camera turned off. Can you put the thing on? I'm so sorry, everybody. There's a technical malfunction.
There's always a technical malfunction. This happened last time.
It's okay.
You
It's
didn't-
going to
you got-
continue
you
to
have
happen.
gotta
There
get
we
a-
go. Back on the network.
You have got to
All
get a new
right.
camera.
Live again.
You gotta
Okay.
get a new camera, man.
No, I can't get a new camera. It's like $1,000. It's like $1,200, $1,500 for a new camera. Anyways, stop. Anyways, yeah. So there was like 4 billion accounts that were taken off. And by the way, have you ever heard of the IRA, the Internet Research Agency in Russia? Oh, what do you know about it?
Nothing. I've heard of it. You
Oh,
asked
it's
if I heard
fucking
it.
horrible.
Dude, you
Well,
asked
no,
if I
I-
heard about it.
well, I'm just
and
asking
like,
what
yeah,
you
I've heard
know.
about it. It's like, what do you know about it? I don't
Well,
fucking know.
what do you know? Like, if you've heard about it, what do you know about it? I know that it
No, I
exists
just- I
and
just
it's in
heard-
Russia and
I know
whatever.
it exists, but I never knew
Okay.
it was in Russia.
Well,
I actually thought it was American. Actually, I thought it was more worldwide than just being in Russia.
well, here's the thing. It is.
Ooh.
So, the Internet Research Agency is a agency in Russia that basically, like the name implies, studies the internet. But what it does is employs close to 1,000 people, basically just to create fake accounts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and push propaganda into the United States and around the world to incite violence. And this is exactly what Yuri Bezmenov, the former KGB agent, was talking about.
I'm pretty sure most countries do that. If they have the ability to, they're gonna
Oh,
do that.
absolutely.
Including this one, if they have
Oh,
the
well,
chance.
if you take a look at Operation Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird was done by the CIA, and they were actually spying on certain journalists and also trying to manipulate the news.
That's the thing. That
So this is
Well,
all
that's the same thing that
countries.
happened with Malcolm X and Fred Hampton. They were being spied on.
Oh,
by,
yeah.
by was it the
CIA
FBI?
probably.
I think
It
it was
was
either
the
the
CIA.
CIA or FBI. I don't know.
Well,
Either one,
almost
but-
every civil rights activist was spied on, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of had to be.
The thing that I remember, we watched that movie.
Well, to the government, not to me, but to the government.
How did I just forget the name of the movie? Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great movie, by the way, really good. And basically it goes into Fred Hampton and what he did and what happened to him, and it's a pretty, I don't know, it's in my opinion, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I don't know, there was something also very quickly before I get into this, the director made a pretty hilarious short where it's like, in this universe all black people in New York sound Italian, and like all the
Wow.
Italians are like the minorities. It's kind
Oh,
of
wow,
like
yeah.
a switch.
Okay.
Dude, he does like a perfect Italian accent. He's like, look at this fucking guy over here. Look at this motherfucker. And you see like
That's pretty good.
he sees his sister come by with like a white guy, and he's like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? And
That's
then he
weird.
like tells the guy to go away. She's like, I'm telling Dad. It's like, get the fuck back in the house. Like, he did a pretty good impression.
That's
I was
funny.
like, that's pretty good. But no, the movie was really good. And the reason I remember after watching it, I researched more about Fred Hampton. Guy was a fucking beast.
Really?
Man, he was insane. He with the Black Panthers and where was it? Was it? Holy crap! What was it? I'm trying to remember where he was, because again, like the Black Panthers, they all had like their
Mm-hmm.
like areas in like certain cities. What was it? Illinois.
Yeah,
Or, like,
probably. I wouldn't be
maybe it
surprised.
was Chicago. I think it was
It's out in the
Chicago.
it's out in the south
I
pretty
think it was
much.
Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, and basically, dude,
Or
using
Midwest.
like the manpower that he had, he opened up small food services for kids, places for the homeless, small places to teach kids.
That's good.
Literally, and that's the thing. When I heard that, I was like, dang, he was really. He really wanted to do, and he really actually helped his community. So many people who think today helping the community is yelling at people to like,
Right.
believe the same thing. That's not how he did it. Was he actually provided stuff, provided necessities. He did, and of course the CIA, watched it, and because he was just a black civil rights leader, they thought he was a terrorist, even though he actually never advocated for terrorists.
Do you think
terrorist
that
actions.
through those things he was laundering money?
No, he actually, there was no record of him. Yeah, I think even no, there was no record of him actually laundering, because he
Okay.
never actually required money. It was free.
I'm just asking, just
He never
in general.
required money.
He never
never-
really got much money.
No, he never got money from those things. They were free. When
Well,
people
no,
came
what
in-
I mean is that I understand that, but you can like create a nonprofit, or not a nonprofit, but
No,
you can
he-
create
he
things like
definitely
that
did- he
so you
definitely
can
wasn't the
launder
kind of
money.
person to do that.
I understand. I'm
the
just asking.
From what people said about him, they said he was very passionate.
What was his name?
Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton. Yes.
You know how old he was when he died? 21, and he was assassinated.
Frederick Allen Hampton Sr., August 30th, from 1948 to December 4th, 1969, was an American activist and Marxist-Leninist. Oh, that's exactly why he was Yeah, I've seen this guy before.
Yeah, he was.
No wonder he was
definitely a
freaking
socialist.
monitored by the CIA. He was a Marxist.
Yeah, we all know
He
that
came to
they-
prominence in Chicago as a chairman of Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party and deputy chairman of the National Black Panther Party. In this capacity, he founded the anti-racist, anti-class Rainbow Coalition, a prominent multicultural political organization. Wow.
kidding me,
Okay. Huh?
Just got my schedule for work. This is not the schedule we agreed to. Oh wait, no. Oh no, it is. Sorry, I was looking.
Put down your phone.
No, I was checking out because I always I don't know. I always get my schedule for like on Saturdays.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, but no, basically, in my opinion, what was interesting about him, he created something. You just read the Rainbow Coalition. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally went to different groups from different cultural activist groups, and brought them together. One of them was literally a group of poor white people, who literally the banner was the Confederate flag.
Wow.
He went to them and basically brought because he knew that the way to bring people together was to talk about the stuff that they have in common, as in
Right.
the stuff that they're dealing with that they're also dealing with. Yeah, in his opinion, he most likely thought white people, especially poor white people, are probably not dealing with the exact same shit that black people, poor black people,
Right.
rich people,
Right.
black people are dealing with in this country at the time or even today. But he still knew that they had problems and they're being fucked over by the system.
Right.
And in the scene, he basically goes there. Maybe you can look it up. It might be there. I don't know because it's hard for me to find that scene. He basically went there, and they were having a meeting. And the leader was, like talking to these people. There was a huge Confederate flag behind him. He walks in and he just stands in the back. You know what I mean? And the guy notices him. He's like, "Oh, hey, you're Fred Hampton," because I guess he's heard about him. He didn't like insult him. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I've heard about you. I've heard you speak." And then another black person comes in, another Black Panther, and he just looks at the flag and he like whispers to himself that flag is bullshit, and they tell him to like quiet down, like not say anything. And even the guy says, no, it's like we keep that up there to remind us of our Southern heritage, but I do agree, and he says, well, when I see that, I see the oppression
Yeah.
of black people.
Yeah.
And he says, and one person was basically, another person in the crowd told him to like shut up, basically like saying, I never owned slaves, all that stuff. And then even the leader said, no, I will admit our people treated your people horribly. And in many ways we still, he basically just says, yeah, I know. We just keep that over there for our Southern heritage. We don't agree with what our ancestors did, but we have to, remember that's where we come from, obviously. And at some point, one of the guys says, no, I know, my family never had slaves. We were poor. We were sharecroppers. And the guy said, AKA the overseer, i.e. basically saying the reason you're poor, you may have not owned slaves, but you probably worked for the slave master,
Right.
whipping the slaves, keeping them in line, all that stuff. And
Bring
you
the
know what Fred
microphone
Hampton?
closer.
Sorry. You know what Fred Hampton said in response? He said, and what if the slaves and the overseer came together and cut the master's throat?
Yeah.
He's basically saying instead of fighting amongst each other,
Come together.
and fight the common enemy, the rich politician, the rich people
Right.
who don't care about you.
Right.
And that's the thing that really stuck with me. It's just like, yeah, that is. Why are we constantly fighting each other when we could be fighting the actual common enemy, the rich politicians who could really give a shit about us?
Well, here's the thing.
And no, but the best part is, there's literally I look as I research more about the Rainbow Coalition. He got people from. He got like a Hispanic group. I think they were Puerto Rican. I think so. I'm not sure. I forgot exactly. He of course got that group, and dude, and they were like in the movie. He was like because the guy what's his
Just
name
powerful.
Daniel Kaluuya plays the guy.
Okay.
He is a beast in that movie. And oh my God, Lakeith Stanfield is in it as well. He plays the reason it's called Judas and the Black Messiah is basically one of the members who joined that section of the Black Panthers was also an informant for the CIA or the FBI. I think it was either one. I don't know. And he basically, at first, he wanted to. He did it because he was stealing cars by pretending to be a cop, or like an investigator.
Right.
And they basically said, okay, you go to jail, or you help us get rid of Fred Hampton. If you help us, you get your jail, get out of
Right.
jail free card. So he decided to help them. He was doing pretty well until he started feeling, regret, like he didn't want to get rid of him because he started really agreeing with what he was saying. But at the end of the day, he went through with it, obviously, because Fred Hampton was assassinated by the CIA. I'm gonna say assassinated because he was. They didn't come him and arrest him legally. They literally sent agents into his home with his wife, who was pregnant at the time,
Damn.
and a few other Black Panther members who knew they were coming. So because they have their. That's another thing. The Black Panthers definitely believed in the Second Amendment right, that you can defend that the reason we have guns is to defend yourself
against a tyrannical government.
That's exactly.
There you
Even
go.
Malcolm X believed in that.
Well, Malcolm X was trying to get everybody out of America.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of
he
disagree with Malcolm X with, is because he was super kind of. Yes.
He believed in segregation, but then he went to Mecca, found that so many people from different backgrounds, white, black, whatever, came together for a common belief.
Yeah.
And he went back home. And he completely had a change of. It took him, but when you read some of the stuff that he wrote after he came back from Mecca, he even admitted He basically admitted that some of his beliefs he still holds strongly. You know what I mean? Like probably stuff about the white liberals, politicians, stuff like that. But he's actually had more of a change of heart when it comes to segregation. He definitely doesn't see that as the solution. He even said he would probably even admit to maybe working with Martin Luther King at some point, but he was killed before that could ever happen.
Yeah.
And.
Imagine if those guys were fucking alive today, dude.
That was I feel like they would have some serious criticism about the government and probably people as
well.
well.
No, here's the
if they
thing.
were still
Here's
alive,
the thing.
we probably even wouldn't
That's what I was
in
gonna
this
say.
situation.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that they probably wouldn't even have any like they would still have criticism of the government, obviously, but I don't think that we would nearly be in the kind of climate that we're in today. Because
sorry, continue.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, but Fred Hampton basically, and
good guy.
He was.
You think so?
I think he was a good guy. He really and I think
I'll research it.
He did go to jail though, but you want to know what it was on? It wasn't on any actual charges. It was on fake charges that apparently he had stolen like $5 worth of ice cream or something like that.
Are you serious?
That is actually true. That they basically tried to find anything to send him to jail. So they found some weird shit. They probably thought it was him, or they accused him of doing, and it involved him stealing like a few dollars worth of ice cream or something there, or maybe like a few hundred.
Well, you know how they caught Al Capone?
Huh?
You know how they caught Al Capone?
Yeah, for tax evasion or some shit. Yeah, it's kind of ironic, but
yeah.
But no, they arrested him for that, and he went to jail for about 5 years.
Yeah.
But he came out of that, and in the scene where he comes back is insane. Like it's literally you see him walk up on a stage, and he's basically you just see a whole crowd of people from different backgrounds. Like you see the Black Panthers, you see like groups of white people. They're all holding up a fist. They're all like they're all happy that he's back. I remember when I saw that scene. Even now I'm getting chills. I was like, dude, that is like a powerful scene. I love that scene.
Do you think that because I see a lot of movies like with like I saw the movie with Malcolm X that that Spike Lee directed.
Yeah, with oh my God,
there is a big
Denzel Washington.
Yeah, there's a way that movies and film can portray a person, and the assumptions that they make about a person because they don't know the entirety of them can lead them to believe that a person was better than what they were.
Oh, by the way, Fred Hampton's son is still alive, and I think that he actually was involved in the movie.
Okay.
He's still alive. He's still alive right now, and I think and again, they did their research. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even with Malcolm X, that movie was based off of a book that was basically not written by him, but a lot of the stuff from the book was taken from stuff that he wrote.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a lot of it my brother did say the book is much better than the movie because the book has more and it shows more. It talks about more about how he came to be, all that stuff.
Right.
I thought the movie was good. I thought the movie definitely not amazing. I thought it could have been better, but there were some pretty good moments in the movie in Malcolm X.
That's good.
But no, back to Judas and the Black Messiah. Basically, when he brought together the Rainbow Coalition, it was basically a huge deal. Like, he's bringing together these leaders from different parts because he knew that the only way that you can defeat a tyrannical government is by bringing people who are constantly fucked over by that government, no matter the race, no matter the color, no matter the whatever the hell, and bring them together under a common cause. And that's the thing that people today have forgotten. They don't want to bring people together. They want to divide people because they don't exactly think the same way. He knew that those people who had the Confederate flag behind them didn't think exactly the same way as them.
Right.
Even though I think before he came along, they were also a little socialist. They weren't as extreme as he was. He was very extreme socialist.
Yeah, he was Marxist.
Yeah, but they weren't. But they before they met him, they were socialists. I think like I
Okay.
looked into the group and they were a bit. I think it was slightly,
Okay.
and then after they met him, basically they all kind of came together. All that stuff.
Right.
And I remember even looking up the Rainbow Coalition, and I found a pin, a genuine pin that people made when they joined the Rainbow Coalition. You know what it showed?
What?
It showed a Confederate flag and a black and white hand shaking in front of it.
That's fucking
and
cool.
I'm like, and I was like,
That's
dude,
cool.
I want.
That's
I was like,
cool.
I want that.
I want to get one
Like,
of those.
Like, I don't want to wear the
That's
Confederate
fucking
flag. I
cool.
don't care
No,
about the
you know what?
the-
If
the
I see a
idea that
Confederate
people-
flag, if people fucking see that, and if people see that, I didn't know that. I'm getting educated now that I'm on this show. Thank God I have this show. I'm gonna get one of those fucking pins, and if
Oh, you
somebody
can't.
tells me,
You can't. You'd probably have to make it yourself. I literally.
okay, well
looked up
either
places
way,
to
if
find it.
if I got a pin like that and I put that on, and somebody gave me shit because I have a Confederate flag, I'd be saying, do your fucking research on
Look up
history.
Look up Fred Hampton.
Look
the
up Fred
Rainbow
Hampton. Do
Coalition.
your fucking research. You won't be so offended.
Yeah. No, he
That's
was,
pretty
he was-
cool.
He was a beast, and again, he was killed. I think he was 21. I don't know if he was 19, 21, but he was killed. He was basically assassinated, and in the movie, it is brutal. In the movie, like they don't hold back. Basically, like the way they do it in the movie is that he was at home with his wife. Oh, and what happened was Lakeith Stanfield's character gave him a drink and drugged it so that he would be unconscious. Yeah, yeah. And
He died at 21.
Yeah, he was very young. He was so influential at that young age. It was insane.
Wow.
And basically, what happened was he was at home with his wife, who was pregnant at the time. Or I think they had already had a kid. I don't know if she was pregnant or had a kid already. And a few other Black Panther members. And they were there basically making sure, because they knew something was going to happen, they were there making sure nothing ever happened to him. And then they heard people walking up the stairs, and the light in the hallway turned off.
Wow.
So, and this is all just the scene from the movie. I don't know how it actually went down. Maybe,
Right.
I think because his wife is still alive today. I think they probably talked to her about the experience. And basically, in the movie, you just see the light turn off. Then they tried to open the door, but it was locked. And you see like a Black Panther member holding a gun up, because Second Amendment right, you get to defend yourself against a tyrannical government,
Right.
using the right to bear arms. They
Yeah.
believed in that, and
They have
basically,
to.
basically what happened was they tried to open the door, they couldn't, so they knocked on the door, and then one of them was kind of like a little suspicious, so they kind of got up slowly until they started firing through the door, killed the guy, came in. I think they shot one more person.
Damn.
And they asked where was he, Fred Hampton. They grabbed his wife, pulled her outside, and in the background, it's like it shows. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
sorry.
It's okay.
Ugh.
There's like a shot of her, with like the camera's kind of off center, and it's like her. She's on the left side, I think it was, and on the right, out of focus, you can see the room where they are, in the same room as him, while he's asleep.
Mm-hmm. Use
all
your
you-
microphone.
Sorry, I don't know. It's like so weird. The distance is weird. Basically, in the background, you just see the cops go into his room while he's asleep, and they shoot him
Mm-hmm.
while he's asleep, defenseless. They basically executed him, and
He didn't wake up through all
no,
of
he was
that.
drugged.
Oh, he was drugged. That's right.
And the thing is, it wasn't that Lakeith Stanfield's character, who was, again, this is all based on real events.
Yeah.
It's not like he was the one who thought of the drug. They told him to drug him to knock him out so that they can
Wow.
easily kill him. And I heard about this, and I'm just like,
That's fucked.
and the way the scene it happens, there's no music, no insane like, all you hear is just them go in the back. They shoot him in the head, and then I think you hear one of the guys say, "That's it, like that's done, all right," and that's it. The movie kind of moves on from there, and you find out more that the guy who actually, the guy who basically betrayed Fred Hampton got into an interview and basically openly admitted to doing all of that. It was like years after. It was years after his death, probably like
Wow.
1970s, and he basically came out and admitted it.
Wow.
And it's like, jeez, and he was 21. That's the thing. And I actually almost cried watching that because I was like, he was 21.
Imagine what he
wasn't
could
even
have
He
accomplished.
never did anything wrong. He never committed any crimes. He literally, he had a pretty clean slate. The only crime they got him on was fucking like potentially stealing a bit of ice cream, which I don't even think he actually did. I think it came out that he actually never did it.
Wow.
But they sent him to jail for 5 years for stealing ice
5 years.
5 years for stealing like a few bucks worth of ice cream, I think.
So
like a few ice cream sandwiches.
Hold
I
on.
think
So
it
he
was.
actually served 5 years
Yeah. He stayed in prison for 5 years and then came back.
at 16 years old.
I think so. I think he was pretty young at the time. Or I think he stayed in... Or was it 5 years? I think it was like around... It was definitely more... Or maybe...
Dude,
or,
holy
wait,
shit.
Or am I getting this
Then
wrong?
that means
Wait,
if
wait,
it-
no. Am I getting this wrong? I might be getting this wrong.
Okay, because I was
might
gonna
be-
say, I was like, that's literally 25% of his life.
I might be
He was
thinking of
locked
something-
up.
It could be maybe a little over a year, actually. Sorry, forget the 5 year thing. It could be a little over the
Okay,
year.
I was gonna say
But
that's
still,
like 25% of your life you're locked up.
Yeah, but
Like holy shit.
still, it's sad. hearing about that.
Wow.
It's like when you learn more about that kind of stuff, it's like, Jesus Christ. This country at the time tried so hard to make sure these people couldn't even like, and that's the thing that pisses me off with this country. Is that even today they'll talk so much stuff about we're built on freedoms, we're built on this. Yet when somebody or a large group of people genuinely have been fucked over by the system for so long and they're sick of it and they actually want to fight to change the government, they get scared. They don't want that. They want to keep their power, so they get rid of they completely.
Yeah.
But of course they're dumb. They've never read a fucking history book because
Right.
they should realize that killing somebody isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because
actually, it does do something. Because you know what?
It makes them
Martin
a
Luther
martyr.
King. I know, but Martin Luther King. I'm sorry. I want to say, Martin Luther King would have done some awesome shit if he was still here, and I think he would have changed the course of history. And killing
Fred
him
Hampton,
actually
too.
did
Fred
stop.
Hampton, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. If those three were still, there's probably more civil rights leaders
Yes,
out there that I'm not
absolutely.
thinking of right now. But those three in particular, if they were still alive, we wouldn't.
World
we
would be
probably
so
wouldn't
much different.
We would probably be in a better world, maybe.
I think.
Probably
Oh,
not
I
be-
think
not probably
so.
like-
I
not-
think
not
so.
like heaven,
I think
but
no.
with
I think
them-
so.
Yeah.
I think it'll be better. I
just-
think it would
because-
genuinely be better.
Because the way they were, but even then, Malcolm X did have complaints about Martin Luther King, thinking he was one of the. He kind of basically saw him as, but again, this was before he went to Mecca, so he probably thought more.
Right.
But
Well, people change.
and he hated after the Nation of Islam, after what he found. Because you want to know why he left the Nation of
I
Islam?
think it was because the guy that was running it was secretly having sex with hookers
he had sex with hookers and underage women, got them
underage
pregnant, and was
girls.
not even paying for the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah,
exactly.
And basically, when he heard about that, he was angry.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
been-
left.
yeah.
And they killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I've heard so many people say, like, "Oh, Malcolm X was killed by the white man." It's like, actually, no. He was killed by the Nation of Islam, a group of black people.
he was killed by
No, that's where I'm
shitty
going.
people colluding together.
But that's exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's just like, and again, I'm not saying that the Nation of Islam didn't probably have connections with the CIA.
Oh, they
because-
did.
Yeah, most likely. But the problem is that still doesn't help your argument, because you're basically saying, no, it was killed only by white people, almost trying to make the Nation of Islam look like innocent. Believe me, that still goes against their whole principles.
Yeah.
They did not want to be a part of this government. They thought this government was that was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They were black nationalists, basically. In my opinion, they were basically nothing but a very religiously motivated mafia group. Because
I would
that's
have to
technically-
agree.
That's pretty much what they were.
Well,
and
that's how it
still
was
kind of
being
are,
run
because
by
they're
that guy.
yeah, and that means they have no morals. If they're going to work with what they say is the enemy just to get rid of a black
Exactly.
man who's
Yeah,
fighting
exactly.
for black civil
Exactly.
rights,
Exactly.
that is a major problem.
Exactly.
And actually, you know Giancarlo Esposito, the actor?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, the guy that plays the villain in Far Cry 6.
Mhm.
Yeah, he actually, in the movie Malcolm X, he played one of the guys who kills him. You remember?
That's cool.
Have you seen Malcolm X?
Yeah,
right?
I have, but I didn't. I
I
think I watched Breaking Bad after I watched that. So
Well,
I did.
remember the scene-
I wasn't able to connect the actors.
Remember the scene where they're going to, like, it's basically right before he gets assassinated.
Mhm.
They're going to you see his family, and his daughter drops a toy, and you see like a guy say, "Oh, here you go, little." That's Giancarlo Esposito.
Mm.
He was also in the movie Do the Right Thing,
Okay.
which I thought that was a good movie, even though sometimes I remember when I watched it and I was like, I don't really get the message of the movie. Maybe it's like what, the message that I kind of more stick with the movie is, if you want to fight for real change, don't focus on the little things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, focus on the stuff that truly matters. Because basically, Giancarlo Esposito's character, they all live in Brooklyn, in the hood, in a black area. And there's one Italian guy
In the hood.
Shut up. Who basically owns a pizza place.
Yeah.
And basically, Giancarlo Esposito is like a very, he's like a, what would you call it? I'm trying to think of a term. A black activist, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a very hardcore black activist. Like, there's even one scene where the main character, played by Spike Lee, kind of funny enough. Dude,
Yeah.
Spike Lee is short, man. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
kind of short. But he's
name's Spike.
He's a funny looking guy, but I also like him because he seems like he has a lot of fun. Like when like at the Oscars, I think it was, or the Golden Globes, when you see Bong Joon-ho win like the best movie or something. I think it was director, I think. And he basically quotes Martin Scorsese, and Martin Scorsese gets a standing ovation. You just hear Spike on stage like, money! And I'm like, that's kind of cool. But basically, there's like one scene where because the Italian family is comprised, whatever the fuck, I don't English good. Basically, it's like three guys. It's the main guy, Sal, who's the guy who owns the restaurant, and his two sons. One of his sons is the older one, who's a pretty racist guy. Like, he doesn't like black people. And the other one is a guy who he actually likes black. He hangs a lot around black people. He's okay. He's like a cool guy. He's hanging around with the main character, and Giancarlo Esposito's character goes up to him and says, "Hey, yo, what's up with the white boy?" And then he's just like, "No, man, he's cool. Don't start." And basically, like Spike Lee's character's like, "Don't start shit. Just leave it alone." Walks away, and it kind of transitions into like a funny scene. But basically, Giancarlo Esposito's character goes to Sal's, gets a pizza, and he looks up on the wall, and it's like the Italian Wall of Fame, and it's basically showing a bunch of Italian actors and musicians like Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did I just forget his name? Robert De Niro and
Martin Scorsese.
no, not Martin Scorsese. Maybe he was on there. It showed like only
Yeah,
like the
okay.
camera only showed. What was his name? He's another actor. How did I just forget his name?
Michael.
No.
I would like to say Michael Imperioli, but
No, maybe he was up there. I don't know.
huh?
What was his name,
Who?
dude?
Who? No, just say who.
No, the guy
Joe Pesci.
No.
Yeah,
no.
that's a good one. Joe
He
Pesci.
was in a movie with him
Yeah,
recently.
Joe Pesci. Let's see right here.
He was in a movie with him recently.
Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Let's see.
What is his name? Dude, he was in The Irishman.
Oh,
Yeah.
He played. Literally, he's the one who says, "Say hello to my little friend." What is his
oh,
name?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Yeah,
Al
he's up there.
Pacino,
Literally,
yeah.
we're spending more time focusing on like who's the actor than the actual scene in the.
It's
basically-
okay.
basically-
We're going on a long rant.
Yeah. Basically, he says like, "Yo, why are there?" He basically starts complaining that there's no
Yeah.
black people up on the wall, and he kind of has a funny response, Sal, where he's like, "How come there ain't no brothers on the wall?" It's just like, when you get to own your own pizzeria, you can put your brothers, aunts, uncles, whatever you want up there. It's
Oh,
like, but this
shit.
is my pizzeria. He's like,
Damn.
he's basically just saying, "It's my pizzeria. I can do whatever I want."
Yeah, just
And-
stop criticizing me.
Or he's basically saying
Just-
like, and later on in the movie, it goes so far that he wants to boycott Sal's place for doing that. And even though he even goes up to black people in the community saying, "Hey, you want to boycott Sal's?" And they're like, "What? No, he's a cool guy. He's a nice guy. Leave him alone." Like
Yeah.
but then it kind of comes out because he's not a racist guy. He obviously has some prejudice since later on he literally calls one of the people who comes into his restaurant to serve him like, "You fucking filthy." Like he basically says
Ugh.
the N-word. He basically yells at them,
Ew.
and they all kind of get pissed like, "Oh, you racist motherfucker." So he
Yeah.
obviously has his own thing, but he's obviously
He's just trying to he's just trying to do business the way he's trying to do business.
But he also does like
Yeah.
because even in a scene, he obviously probably holds a bit of prejudice against
Right.
black people,
Mhm.
but he obviously cares about the community. There's
Yeah.
even one scene where like a little girl comes up because he also sells ice cream out like the window. She gives him like a few bucks for ice cream. He's like, "Here you go, sweetheart."
Little
bye,"
black
you know?
girl.
Yeah, yeah, and
Oh.
he obviously cares about people, but
That's cute.
it came out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
gotcha.
And basically, what happens was they wreck his entire restaurant, and the main character, for some reason, getting pissed about this because he also works for Sal, just grabs a trash can, throws it through the window, and they burn his entire building down.
Damn.
And you're looking at this, and the way Spike Lee presents it is almost like, oh yeah, it's an empowering thing for the black people, but look at what it's doing to Sal. And you know what they immediately do? They turn around across the street, and there's like a Korean couple who owns a store, and they're about to burn that place down, but then he basically says, "I'm in the same boat as you," and then they're just like, "Yeah, okay," and they kind of leave him alone.
Weird.
I think the whole point, and also there was like another guy who basically beat up Sal. The reason they burnt it down is because the cops came by and basically beat up the guy who was like attacking Sal, but one of the cops went like too far and literally put his nightstick around his neck and like basically choked him to death, and even the other cop was like,
Yeah.
"We gotta take the body. Like we gotta like what the fuck did you just do?" So basically, yeah, that whole thing happened. But after I watched the movie, I was just like, I think what he was trying to convey with this is that these people who are technically in the same boat, Sal, yeah, he's a white man, but look at where he is. Just because he's white doesn't mean everything in the country is going to be handed to him on a silver platter. Look where he is. He's not that rich. He owns his own pizzeria, and he's even in a community full of black people, but they actually like him because he's been there for years. You know, he's one of the longest businesses that's ever been in that area. And the thing I guess the message of the movie is they're fighting amongst themselves instead of focusing on real problems, like what the cops did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They get mad about the cops. But what set them off for the cops to even be there in the first place? Some guy got mad at something pointless as there's no black people on an Italian restaurant's wall.
Right.
And maybe that's just my interpretation, but it's like you're focusing on these smaller, not really important problems. These are small.
Well,
these are small
listen.
potatoes
Here's the
compared
thing.
to the real
Well,
problem.
here's the thing. I want you to recognize this because
I need some water, man.
Huh?
I need some water. Man.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, anything that doesn't have weed in it. Thank you.
Are you sure? Wait. You're gonna have to move the camera. Oh no. Oh
You know what?
no.
Forget it. It's fine. No, just
And I'm pretty sure right now the camera's about to. I'm pretty sure the camera's gonna fucking
Die.
not die, but have
Turn
to
off.
be reset again.
Why
So
did it do that?
it's because, like I said, the movie taxes. I bought a DSLR camera and not a quote unquote movie camera, so it's
Mm.
not allowed to record over 30 minutes.
That's dumb.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's just a hardware issue. I'm probably gonna jailbreak it so I can do that.
Am I in the shot? Well, can't tell.
Yeah, you're in the shot.
Okay, good.
But yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm glad that it's making you think about this because,
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
that's good because like,
Sadly, one of the actors passed away though.
yeah,
You know who I'm talking about? The guy who like carried the beatbox around, the boombox. Sorry. around.
Yeah,
He was also in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. He played like the
Right.
guy who works for J. Jonah Jameson.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right? Big
I do.
black guy.
mm-hmm.
Very good cheekbones. I'm
I
not
do,
kidding.
yeah.
He had like a very good jawline.
Yeah, I
He
do.
was- but then he passed away. I think of like. Actually, didn't he pass away recently, man? I don't know if it was of COVID or anything. Hold on, let me actually check. Keep talking. I'm gonna look. this
Okay,
up.
well, I'm glad that it made you think about that. Sorry, the camera's off right now. We're gonna have to go ahead and restart it in just a second. We're gonna get some water. It's over by the
Where
couch.
water is.
It's over by the couch.
It's over by the couch. Oh, let me look it up.
So I'm glad it's making you think about this because, like Bezmenov was saying. So what he was saying in 1984 and what the IRA is actually doing is trying to make us do that. They're trying to make us look at all these little things and trying to get us all to internally fight with each other so we can eat ourselves out from the inside.
So that we don't actually focus on the real problem.
So we don't focus on the real problems. And the thing is, at the same time, like he said, they're trying to demoralize us. He said it takes around 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. It takes around 15 to 25 years. I'll actually go ahead and play the clip. I'll go ahead and you could just listen to it. I have it right
We
here.
spoke several times before about ideological
I know that
subversion.
guy's
That is
voice.
a phrase that
Thank you.
I'm afraid some Americans don't fully
I know that
Thank you
guy's
so
voice.
much.
Isn't that the guy
When,
who kind of looks like this?
The Soviets used
Yeah, a little
the
bit.
phrase ideological
Thank you.
subversion. What do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to
There
do,
we
all
go.
American mass media has to do is to
Listen.
unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it.
Turn up again.
There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that
On the
espionage and
side here,
intelligence
have- on the-
gathering
no,
looks
right
more
here.
romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers.
Was this recorded?
But in reality,
1984.
the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such.
Okay.
The other 85% or active measures. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in four basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students.
All right. So this is 13 minutes long. I'm gonna not make everybody do that, but you basically heard
Maybe
what
you
he
can
was
provide
saying.
A link to it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and it's in my paper. I have it actually as a source in my paper. So when I release it, you guys will be able to see it on the network. Wait, Hugo's a little out of shot.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. There we go. That's better. Way better. Thank you for the camera work. Perfect camera work. A little bit. Hugo's a little out of the shot still because Hugo likes to sit.
I like to sit back. Was there a problem with that?
There we go. Wait.
All right.
There we go. All right. That works. I'm going to get a new lens here pretty soon. But anyways. All right. So,
Get those obnoxiously long lenses that stick out like
yeah,
15
right.
feet.
Exactly. So I'm glad it's making you. I'm glad it's making you think about this because, like you said, it's divided into 4 parts. It's trying to demoralize us, re-educate us, make us more neighbor against neighbor, trying to get us basically to rot ourselves from the inside out.
Well, that's what Fred Hampton thought. He knew
Exactly.
that bringing people together instead of continually taking place in that division was actually going to do something.
Exactly. So, and just like he said, this is in 1984, by the way. In 1984, they started having really good, TV programs with news, and the newspapers were going crazy. Everybody during that time was thinking that, they know a lot from the news because information is everywhere. They're getting it in the newspaper. They're getting it on TV. It's way different from the 50s and the 40s and 50s. They didn't have it like that. It's a lot better. They have better technology. So they thought they had, a good abundance of information. Nowadays, we have the internet. We have, and this has been described by Eric Weinstein, literally.
Harvey Weinstein?
No, Eric Weinstein. Sorry, Eric Weinstein. He described this as the Library of Alexandria in your pocket.
Yeah, you can find so much information.
You can find literally almost anything on here, and we have so much information
yeah, you can find so many stuff
that
stuff
we don't
on
ever know what's
Wikipedia.
real.
You can find history lessons, Rule 34.
Yeah,
all that
exactly.
shit.
I know.
That is such a.
So I'm gonna read just a little bit more from here. Bezmenon digresses, and so do the well-informed agencies, governments, cyber agents, and skeptics, as stated above, that pull the wool over the eyes of those below, the general population. An interesting set of people, right? If you were watching the entire population, what would you look for? What people are nice, mean, adventurous, your next lover? Many experiments have been
Definitely the
played.
last one.
Yeah, right?
I'm kidding.
Many experiments have been played on the general population. With rise of the internet, it has made it much easier. Although there have been many general population experiments even dating back as far as 1932 in the United States. There may have been more before then. In 1932, the case study, formerly known as Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis in the Negro Male by Center of Disease Control and the United States Public Health Service. This study looked at 400 individuals secretly injected with the syphilis virus. But what about today? Unbeknownst to us, we are involved in a grand scheme of tests, studies, and even being a secret product. A manipulation game, aggressively but silently chugging. The invisible gears churning as the mass population adopts, demoralizes, and begins to transform their new world in the wake of the technological evolution humans have undergone within the last 20 years. The mass collection of data against our will for exploitation and the art of eating crow. Research shows that most Americans believe that companies and governments are untrustworthy with our data. In a poll taken by Pew Research again, 59, 79, 81%, and 81% of Americans, in order of percentage, report to feel a lack of understanding, concern, it being too risky, and a lack of control when it comes to private and of their data.
Same reason why I don't entirely trust, VPNs.
Exactly.
I know you and my brother have found a VPN that
I'll
works,
talk to you about
but
this.
I look at some stuff, we don't have to talk about this on stream, but I look at that stuff and I'm like, dude, I still
Well,
don't
I'll
trust
talk
it.
to you about a controversy that came out. I'll finish
Wasn't
this.
it with NordVPN?
No, it was with Express.
Okay.
Lack of understanding, concern, being too busy. And when it comes to private companies collecting our data, for the government, 64 to 84% in order of percentage, 78, 60, 64, 66, and 84. You can look at the document, it makes it easier. Of Americans, unfortunately, have this trustworthiness as well.
Unfortunately.
Even though the many have concluded that companies are stealing our data, we accept defeat. Again, from Pew, lots of people every day use social media, with the highest people being 18 to 29, ages 18 to 29 being 84%, ages 30 to 49 being 81%, 50 to 64 coming to 74%, and 65 and above being 45%. So 18 to 29, ages 18 to 29, 84% of them use social media, which is almost all of them. With that being said, what can be done? What tools can the general population use to prevent their data being stolen or misused? Vote. That's what we have to do. So,
I'd probably disagree with the last part.
why?
Well, like I said earlier today, or earlier now, I didn't vote in the last, the stupid recall, mostly because I thought it was pointless, but also when I started thinking about it more and more, I'm not going to be like one of those people that say like, no, I don't vote because I'm like cool like that, I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's more, I don't vote because I know my vote most likely won't do shit.
Well,
because the problem with a corrupt system, like the one that we are in now, the one that we're in pretty much every country in the world at this point, is it is pervasive. Meaning even the most amazingly honest people who go into it can become easily corrupted, just like everyone. That's the problem that I have. Like you just said, a majority of people do not trust politicians, government, or social media. That is why I do not trust this government with anything. All right, I don't trust them because they're very pervasive in how their corruption works.
Mm-hmm.
They'll corrupt even the most honest people out there, and most of the shit that they say they're gonna do, they don't even do in the end, or they really just don't give a shit.
Right.
Or they'll provide fake solutions, like that stupid crap where it was like defund the police.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was, what was his name, Tyler Perry, a black actor, producer, stuff like that. I think he was a director. I don't know. Basically, came out and said, no, we shouldn't defund the police. We should actually fund the police.
Right.
All right? Because if you take more money away, what is that going to do? That's going to make their training much later. It's going to take more resources away from them, making it worse. I remember even my brother said something, which I still disagree with, saying, like, why do we even need cops? We have the Second Amendment for a reason. Why does their Second Amendment right oversee ours or something like that? And I can see where he's coming from, but would you really I mean that's the thing. I can slightly see where he's coming from, but the problem that I have with what he said was, if that's the case, you're telling me that you already don't trust the police. Obviously so.
Yes.
In my opinion, I don't trust them either, because that's also a corrupt system. La di da di da. You get the idea. But the problem that I have is, like, you're really telling me, if you think the cops be corrupt, you're telling me that random citizens aren't going to be corrupt or have their own personal bias. You're telling me if cops already have their own personal biases against people who have a different skin color, people who are of a certain age, people who are this and that.
Those
Are you
people
telling
are
me,
citizens.
huh?
That's what he fails to
Exactly.
to say.
Plus,
Those people,
plus the thing,
even
it's
though
their
they went,
job.
yes,
They're being paid to do this.
Yes.
What, are you literally just gonna put your trust in a community that is not being paid to help you?
so which means that they won't have as well funding. They won't have as good funding.
They might have come from the military. They might be well trained in using a gun. But
But then you have.
what makes you think that if they hear that you've been broken,
watch
your
this.
house has been broken into, what makes you think
Watch
that their moral obligation is to come in and help you?
Watch this. If he wants people that are like
Basically,
veterans.
he wants vigilantes.
Oh, he wants vigilantes that are trained by the government that were in the military.
No, that's not what I said at all. You actually.
Well, no, what I mean is
I'm
that he was
saying
like people.
vigilante in the sense as people who take the law into their own hands.
Right.
He's basically saying, fuck all cops, get rid of them. We should have trust in the community to help us.
But what members of those community would be qualified?
That's also what I was saying.
So
too,
am I because you mentioned something about them being, even then that's kind of off topic. This is kind of off topic, but like why do you think that you're why do you think why do you think your vote doesn't matter? That's my question, because I'll tell you why I think it does. I'll tell you why I think it does.
Can I say why I think it doesn't?
You tried and then you went to
cops,
then
let me express why.
Okay.
I don't think it matters because I'm providing a vote to a corrupt system. My opinion is, to change a system, you don't take part in it.
Then what?
You actually build it from the ground up.
No. I don't understand how that could be done, because
I
you're
don't
telling me
understand
that
how it could be done, but I feel
you're
like
telling me that
that is the
everybody
true
shouldn't
way.
vote then, so we should boycott it so it doesn't work.
Well, what would happen? Well, let me ask you, what would happen if we didn't vote?
The same people would be, I guess in theory, I don't really know, but let's say there was a 2020 election, and let's say it came at the 2020 election because Trump was in his first term, right? So he technically did have the ability to serve another 4 years.
Yeah.
If nobody voted, like zero fucking people, I imagine that Trump would be still in office.
Okay.
I think that's what would happen.
Yeah. And
But-
how is that any
so-
different from replacing him with another corrupt politician?
Because
who's just in a different party.
Because with the power of voting, we were able to get him out.
Yeah, and replace him with another. That's my
Right.
point. That is my point. It's an endless
That your
cycle
vote
of
does work.
Yeah, it works, but here's the thing: it works in just providing more corruption.
Sure, but you need to vote for the right people.
But that's the thing; it's hard. I just explained why I think it's
Well,
hard.
I know what people would be really good.
It is hard to get the right people because I
I
said,
know who
if
would
this,
be
in this
great.
corrupt,
Tulsi
in this
Gabbard.
in this corrupt system,
Tulsi
as
Gabbard.
pervasive as it is, can even affect the most honest people. Those people that you think are the most honest or the most genuine, they can also change.
Yeah, I know.
We've seen that. I mean, we're seeing
but-
seeing that with Bernie.
I know. But
Bernie literally had a whole history of fighting for civil rights, and now when you look at some of the stuff he's posting or the stuff he's saying, it's like, dude, he seems like he's very much.
okay,
been
well, I
bought
have a
out.
question for you. Do you think that in your perfect world of government, like
Whoa,
you had
whoa,
no, I'm
whoa,
just saying,
whoa.
like in your perfect world of government, in the way that you said we need to rebuild it from the ground up. I'm not saying you know exactly what you want to do because I don't know either. I don't think anybody would really
One
know.
thing I would say is get rid of lobbyists.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that is literally just
I
corruption.
agree.
You're
Yes,
providing
I
more
agree.
money. When you provide more money to a certain candidate,
Yes, I agree.
that is one part of the corruption.
Regardless.
You're providing more money to a certain candidate, which
Right.
basically guarantees they're most likely going to win.
Right, regardless, if you had your perfect world of government, I imagine that the people at the top, this is why I find it hard to be able to vote and know what's a good candidate. I understand that you say, it's difficult for people to know exactly if they're going to change, if they're going to do exactly what they said they're going to do, if they're not just trying to pull the wool over our eyes. I know it's difficult to know in the beginning, but if I imagine in your perfect world of government, if you had this whole system that, did or didn't have cops or didn't have lobbyists or whatever, like
when did I say I never wanted cops? I never said that. That's what my
I
brother
said did or didn't. I said did or didn't. Like if it did or didn't have lobbyists, if it didn't or did or didn't,
Well,
just
if
had whatever you
if I thought
wanted.
of a government, I would probably say yes, lobbyists, definitely out.
Yeah.
The
So-
cops, I would say not out,
Right.
just better training.
Right. So in that perfect world of government, I imagine the people at the top will eventually, or some people would become corrupt or try to play and
Yeah, I
game
know.
the system. So even in a perfect world of government, even if we had perfect rules, I imagine
My point
there would be
is-
some people going into those positions because they have.
The reason you want to know why I know that?
Why?
I mean, because that is
That's human nature.
That is basic fucking history and human nature.
Right.
It'll
So what
become-
I'm saying is that
that's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
that there are
There
some
will
good
always
people
be- there
and your
will
vote
always-
matters.
There will always be an endless cycle. Even if we did what
I
I just
know.
said, where you rebuild a government, that one will become corrupt.
Right.
And then you have to do it again.
Right.
Or you have to do it again. Or you could just deal with it and let it become corrupt or stay corrupt.
Right.
The problem is that every single government we have seen, every single society that has been built, fuck this stupid mic, that has been built up throughout human history has become corrupt.
Right, I agree.
And even and I know what you're saying. Like, even in my idea of like a government that's different from this, there'll probably still be corruption. I'd be like, yeah.
Well, so what I'm saying-
again, I'm not an anarchist or
No,
anything. I believe that there has to
know.
be a government for some
No,
of course,
I know.
stability, some economy of some kind.
I just
But the
don't think you're
problem that I
getting what I'm
have-
saying.
That voting, there's always going to be someone out there who actually isn't corrupt.
Well, what I'm saying is that you said, I don't think that my vote matters because it's a never-ending cycle of corruption. And even if I do try to vote for the right people,
Or what I view
my
as the right
vote,
people.
right, my vote will either count to someone that I think is good but may end up being corrupt, or it won't really be taken into account because the system is corrupt. What I'm saying,
Slightly that.
Right.
The take
So-
into account, no, it will be taken into account.
okay.
It's just that the people who, I know it will be
So-
taken into account. It's just
right.
that the people who are getting more money or more advertisement will be the one who eventually wins, even if I voted for someone else.
I agree, but what I'm saying is that the reason why I'm trying no. I'm just I'm trying to kind of just conceptualize it in my head. That's exactly why I started this podcast, is because I want people to know about people like Tulsi Gabbard, want people to know about people like Dan Crenshaw, know people that are on opposite sides that are possibly that are genuinely wanting a better country, that are genuinely wanting people to do good, and that have a history in the government, they have a history in politics, and they have a clean slate. and these people love this country, and they actually have great views for our country. So I want, and Tulsi Gabbard ran for presidency.
How do you spell that?
TulsiGabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is a very great human being, and if you want a first woman president, fucking vote Tulsi Gabbard. So if you guys want to vote for a woman president, vote Tulsi Gabbard. If you guys want a really good president, that I think would be really good, vote Dan Crenshaw. That's what I'm saying.
Samoan American, eh?
Yeah, she used to be in the service. She was really
Democrat.
She's a Democrat also. So I feel
making noise. What is that?
yeah, it's probably my sister. But what I'm saying is that I don't think, just like you said, with the power of lobbyists, with the power of a lot of money in advertisement and also mass media, and
Or who the you know the I'm not talking about it like there's some omnipotent being controlling everything, but you
the
know,
omnipotent being is money.
Well, yeah, that, but also who the people, like, for example, literally twice in the last 2 elections, Bernie was fucked over by the Democrats.
Yes, he
right?
was.
He literally, I would have voted for him.
It's because he's not able to be controlled.
Exactly,
why.
except, you know, kind of recently it seems like he's kind of going down that line. I don't
Well,
know.
yep,
But
now.
basically, that's the thing. He was literally so close, but Biden gets it. And I'm like, you're telling me the brain dead fucking grandpa got it? And yet this guy who can actually speak a fucking sentence, who actually seems intelligent, who has been consistent throughout his fucking
I think
career,
he's 78.
didn't? I know, but
Biden's 78, I
but
think.
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, and that happened twice in a row. How does nobody know that there's obviously something going on there? And
Yeah.
and I've heard so many people say, oh, well, that's just how it goes. I'm like, yeah, but you can't tell me that you most of the people who say that also, who say, oh, but that's just how it went, deal with it, are also the same ones who said something probably must have happened to have Trump get into office.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can
yeah,
easily
thank
use,
you.
oh, that's just how it went.
Well,
Dude,
no,
there
if
obviously
you
has
actually
to be
take a
something
look at a lot of the
behind that.
audits, if you take a look at a lot of the audits that are actually being done in a lot of the states, there's like 40,000 ballots and then like 12,000
finding out more
ballots
about
that are
it.
just completely duplicated and
We'll
completely
see.
false.
We'll see how it goes.
But I think that there definitely was some like management. And by the way, it actually has come out that the IRA actually did try to influence the election in
In
2016
what?
and 2020.
in what swaying way? Like,
And,
it kinda went either
you know
way.
what's funny?
Either way.
They don't care.
It just
The
went
reason
whatever
why
who
is
they
because they
thought
just
was
want the overall goal is to just destroy America from the inside.
the
So what
IRS.
the IRA,
Oh.
the IRA literally don't care. They
They
just
said the
want they
IRS.
just want the United States to burn. So what they do is that they boost up, if there's a lot of bullshit about Trump going on, they boost up all the bullshit about going on Trump. If there's a lot of shit about Biden, they just boost it up about Biden. And then they also create these little
I thought China
camps.
helped out Biden.
Oh yeah.
China.
China.
It's China. I love the poorly educated. He actually said that. I love that
the
too.
poorly
Like,
educated.
I love the poorly educated. It's just like, and the poorly educated loves you.
Yes, they do.
Trump supporters are fucking insane, man.
You know what?
I'm not lying.
I'm sorry.
they're
I wish we had Trump right now.
I don't wish we had Trump.
Why? What do you think would be? Dude, it would be so
I don't
different.
know. It would be different, but different
It'd
doesn't
be
always mean good. It might
yes,
be worse. It might be better.
But,
I don't know.
But Trump was
But
trying to get
I really
all of us
do
out of
not-
Afghanistan
I
a
really
long time
do
ago.
not like his supporters though. His supporters scared the shit out of me, man. I'm not like gonna be those same people who say like January 6th was worse than 9/11. Okay, no, the fuck it was not. When you look at the stuff that
Do
happened
you know
on
people
January
like
6th,
that?
Who?
The people who say that?
Who?
I'm just saying. Do you know who people
No.
say that?
No.
You don't know anybody that says that?
Well, I've seen people online say it.
Oh, okay.
My family doesn't say it's worse than 9/11, but they do agree it was bad. But I remember when I first heard it, I was like, oh shit, this is actually happening.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ. And when I looked at what was going on, like, and that's the funny thing, there was security footage that was released recently that the White House did not want to let go. They did not want it out there until, they lost that battle.
What was
and they
it?
released security footage on January 6th. They did not want to release that. Why not? I don't know. Maybe because it shows stuff that didn't really happen. But
Well, it may
basically-
show sensitive information.
No, when it came, it was literally just the only recording that we got was literally just a recording of the front door. Literally, and you know what? And people said like, oh, they came in, they were like holding guns or something. Literally, some people really over exaggerated it. When you see them come in, they literally almost look like they're walking into a museum and they're just too dumb
Yes.
to know where the fucking exit.
Well,
is. They're
there
like-
was this guy that was literally just putting his legs up
Whoa.
on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Which I still agree is bad
Like,
because
it-
technically, if anything, because I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but still,
Dude, you
she
shouldn't
is
do that.
She is a government
Yeah,
representative.
you shouldn't do that.
You should get
Period.
the fuck out of there.
Just don't do that.
I don't like Nancy.
If you want to
Pelosi.
write her a
Have you seen
bad
that
letter,
have
go
you
ahead.
seen that footage of Nancy Pelosi though? Recently, there was like a thing And again, the Democrats with their masks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
Look,
were putting on. They were all like hanging around and
Yeah,
stuff
no,
like
not
that.
that. You know what it
And then they
was?
were like, "All right, we're getting ready to roll." And then
No,
they
it
were like,
wasn't
"Okay."
that.
And then
It
they put
wasn't
on their
that.
mask.
It was literally footage of her at a party, a little dinner,
Oh, I
a huge
saw.
dinner party,
Yeah, I saw.
without her mask,
Yeah, I
speaking in
saw.
front of a bunch of old white people. Oh shit, sorry, without their masks.
Yeah.
And the only people wearing masks were the minority servants.
Oh wow.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know what this makes me think of? It makes me think of like a scene from Get Out, the movie Get Out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be. I don't know. Maybe I could be taking it out of context. From the footage I saw, I was like, dude, this does not look good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it looks
well.
rough.
All it is you just know that every single party that all of those politicians go to is just a cesspool of money being handed out, deals
white
being
people
made,
just like, yeah.
bills being talked about where we can slip things in because they slipped in so much shit with the COVID bill. They slipped in so much shit with the COVID bill. For some reason there was shit about aliens in a COVID bill. I mean, thank you for trying to release shit about aliens, Biden, but why the fuck are you putting stuff about aliens
Well, hasn't there been
in a
something
COVID
recently
bill?
with, like UFOs?
Yes, it
like
was
more
Dr.
footage?
Or not Doctor. I keep on trying to say Doctor. David Fravor, Commander David Fravor.
Yeah,
he was
said,
in
like,
the
there was,
Navy.
like,
He
lot
was
of
a
footage
commander.
that they found of unidentified flying objects, and again, people
Yeah.
always, whenever they think UFO, they immediately think, oh, aliens.
Oh,
It
no,
literally-
dude, I
it literally
honestly
could be
think-
something from another country that we just have no
Right.
clue about.
I think
But-
that it's either something from another country that has to do that has anti-gravity or that has gravity propulsion.
Yeah, or it's
Or
fucking
it's
Martians.
aliens, or it's aliens. I'm sorry, it's
the
aliens.
It's the Nazis from fucking
It's the Nazis
Wolfenstein
that
2.
went to Mars and they came back.
It's the Nazis
It's
from
the
Wolfenstein.
Nazis.
It's Wolfenstein 2. That game was just a
Wolfenstein.
portal into a different universe.
Yes.
The Nazis had flying saucers in that game.
The
They're
Nazis
here
had
now.
flying saucers. They're coming back to kill us all.
Fucking, and they just see Hitler pissing into a bucket.
Yep. Exactly.
He started. No,
All right.
but I don't know. Good conversations though.
Yeah,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
I think that was good. I think we're gonna probably end it there. Thank
Yep.
you so much for coming, Hugo. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for listening to my paper that I'm writing. It's not completely done yet. I'm gonna. I don't even know why I really released it out there without
fine, do it.
without. I mean it was cross referenced before, and I'm trying to get people to, just give me some feedback. But thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Hugo, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
This was really good.
God, your hand is cold, dude.
My hand is cold.
Jesus
It's cold in
Christ.
here. I try to keep it cold
Did
so
you see
you're
what I
awake.
just did on camera? I literally just did.
Ugh.
Like,
But-
ugh, your hand is cold.
Ew,
Ugh.
disgusting.
Oh God. Ugh.
Well,
Oh, I didn't talk about going to Disneyland.
you want to just tell me about Disneyland for a second?
You don't want to talk, do you?
No, tell me.
we
I
can
want
talk
you to
about
tell
it
me.
another
No, I
time.
want you to tell me. I want you to tell me
Well,
about
I'm basically just
Disneyland.
gonna say it was actually pretty fun, but like I was telling you earlier, it did remind me of why I don't like people that much.
Yeah.
Like we literally saw like my girlfriend and I were like waiting in line.
Mm.
We just saw these two people in front of us, these two girls literally streaming like on their phones.
Oh wow.
And I saw that and I was like constantly just saying, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I even looked at her and like my girlfriend, I was just like, I don't even know why I'm complaining. I should just enjoy this moment. She's like, yeah, it doesn't even matter. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It was actually on the line to the Little Mermaid ride. It was pretty fun.
You guys went
I
on
like
the
it.
Little Mermaid. That's
It was
fine.
actually kind of relaxing. It stopped 3 times. I don't know why. It was pretty funny though. And yeah. I don't know. I liked it though. It was nice.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody coming back and watching the Relapse Reason podcast. This is episode 3. Oh, come on. Episode 3. Thank you guys for coming out. I'm going to have on my friend Joseph, my friend Dominic. Please stop. That's hurting my ears and probably the viewers. I'm going to have on Dominic. I'm going to have Donald Robertson on here pretty soon.
Ooh.
I'm going to have Simon Geist on here pretty soon. So, yeah, everybody keep watching. We're going to have some cool shit here up in the next couple weeks. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I will talk to you guys all later. Hugo, do you want to talk about anything for a second? Do you have you want to get out your socials? Do you want to get out your
No.
anything?
I'm
You don't
never
want
getting-
anybody
no,
to give out
no.
your socials? All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Cool.
I'm tired, man. Good talks though. Good talks.